Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, who am I in the eyes of God? It's a question that can change everything about how we see ourselves and our place in the world. Today, I invite you to journey with me into the heart of God's message, a message of peace, hope, and profound love. This is not just an abstract idea or a lofty theological concept. It is a truth that speaks directly to your heart and mind. God is not distant, nor is He an unapproachable force. He is a loving Creator who brought the universe into existence with intention and care. Think for a moment about the stars in the night sky, the beauty of a sunrise, or the intricate details of a flower. All of this reflects His love, His creativity, and His desire to share His goodness with us. But God's creation doesn't stop at the physical world. He created you, uniquely and intentionally, as the pinnacle of His work. And He introduces Himself not just as Creator, but as Father. A Father who knows you intimately and loves you deeply. This love is not earned. It's not something we have to work for or prove ourselves worthy of. It is given freely, unconditionally, and without limit. You may have felt unworthy at times, unworthy of love, of forgiveness, or even of God's attention. But let me tell you something. God does not see you through the lens of your failures or imperfections. He sees you as His beloved child, created in His image, and He treasures you more than you can imagine. Think about that for a moment. To be made in the image of God means that within you is a reflection of His own nature, His love, His creativity, and His purpose. And because of this, you are precious beyond measure. You are not just part of His creation. You are the object of His affection, the one He calls His own. Even when you feel small, even when the world makes you feel unseen, God whispers to your heart, "You are mine. You are loved." This love is the foundation of the peace and hope that God offers to each of us. It is not the kind of peace that depends on circumstances or the kind of hope that fades with time. It is a peace that surpasses understanding, a hope that anchors the soul. But here's the question. Are you ready to embrace it? Are you willing to open your heart to the reality of God's love and let it transform the way you see yourself and the world around you? God is inviting you today. He's inviting you to let go of the fears, the doubts, and the feelings of unworthiness that hold you back. He's calling you to rest in His love, to trust in His promises, and to find your identity in Him. This is not a journey you have to take alone. God walks with you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, and reminding you that you are never alone. So, my friends, I ask you again, who are you in the eyes of God? You are His beloved child, the one He created with care, the one He loves unconditionally. Let this truth sink deeply into your heart. Let it bring you peace in the midst of life's chaos and hope in the face of uncertainty. And as you embrace God's message of peace and hope, may it transform your life and draw you closer to Him each day. Together, let us live in the fullness of His love, trusting in His grace and walking in His peace. Living as God's beloved children, let me remind you of a truth that can transform your life. Light always triumphs over darkness, and love always conquers hate. Even when life feels lost, when you're overwhelmed by shadows, remember this: God's love is stronger than any darkness you may face. His love is not just a distant hope. It's a living force that reaches out to you, calling you to step into the light. When we embrace our identity as God's beloved children, we realize that we're not defined by our failures or fears. Instead, we are defined by the love of a God who never gives up on us. His light shines into the deepest corners of our hearts, offering hope where there was despair, peace where there was chaos. So, How do we live as God's beloved children? We begin by opening our hearts to His love. Let it guide our thoughts, our choices, and our relationships. Let it remind us that we are never alone, even in life's darkest moments. And here's the beauty of living in His light. When we allow His love to transform us, we become reflections of that light for others. We bring hope, healing, and joy to a world that so desperately needs it. Remember, you are loved. You are chosen. You are His beloved child. Live in that truth and let His light lead you forward. The welcoming heart of God, a balm for the soul. Let me share with you a truth that touches the deepest parts of our being. God's heart is always open, always welcoming. He invites each of us to come as we are, wounded, weary, or searching. And in His embrace, we find healing, peace, and rest for our souls. Picture this. God's heart is like a warm home, where you're always accepted, always cherished. It doesn't matter where you've been or what you've done. His love is constant, unchanging, and always ready to restore you. You see, when we draw close to God's welcoming heart, something extraordinary happens. We start to see ourselves through His eyes as bearers of a divine light, filled with creativity, kindness, and strength. Even in moments of doubt or struggle, His love reminds us of who we truly are, His beloved. And here's what I want you to remember. God's love isn't just a balm for your soul. It's also an invitation to believe in the goodness He has placed within you, to embrace the peace He offers, and to share that same welcoming spirit with others. So today, open your heart to His. Let His love heal what's broken, calm what's restless, and inspire what feels lost. And as you experience the balm of His love, let it overflow, becoming a source of light and hope for those around you. You are always welcome in the heart of God, and His love is your safe haven. Let that truth bring peace to your soul, your lighted path to hope and clarity. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. Your life is part of a much greater story, one that God is writing with love, truth, and purpose. He's calling you to walk a lighted path, a path that leads to hope and clarity, even in the midst of life's uncertainties. This path isn't about perfection or having all the answers. It's about trusting that God's light will guide your steps, one at a time. His light reveals the truth, showing you who you are and reminding you of your place in His magnificent plan. Think about it. When you choose to follow the path of light, you are saying yes to truth and love. You're choosing to let go of fear, doubt, and confusion. And instead, you're embracing the hope and clarity that God offers. It's a journey of discovering your true self, the person God created you to be. And here's something beautiful. As you walk this lighted path, you become a light for others. Your hope inspires hope in them. Your clarity brings them peace. Together, we can reflect God's love and truth in a world that so often feels dark and chaotic. So today, ask yourself, what path am I walking? Am I allowing God's light to guide me toward hope and clarity? Remember, this path is already yours. All you have to do is trust and take the next step. Your lighted path is waiting. Walk it boldly and let God's light lead you to the hope and clarity your soul is searching for. God's compassion, a testament to His infinite love. Let's take a moment to reflect on the depth of God's compassion. It's a love so vast, so infinite, that words can barely begin to describe it. His compassion isn't just an idea or a distant promise. It's a living testament to how deeply He cares for each of us. No matter where you've been or what your past holds, God's infinite love reaches you right where you are. His grace is always enough, always sufficient, no matter the mistakes or burdens you carry. It's like a gentle whisper, reminding you that you are not defined by your failures, but by His unchanging love. Think about this. God's compassion is a reflection of His very heart. It's the kind of love that welcomes us home when we feel lost, that comforts us when we are hurting, and that strengthens us when we feel weak. It's His way of saying, "You are mine, and I will never let you go." So how do we respond to such infinite love? By allowing it to transform us, by choosing to forgive ourselves and others, to love as He loves, and to trust that His grace will always lead us forward. Today, let this truth sink into your heart. God's compassion is His gift to you, a testament to His infinite love that never fails and never gives up. Embrace it, live in it, and let it remind you of how precious you are to Him. Let me share with you a truth that can transform your life. God's message of peace and hope is not just words. It's an invitation. It's a call to let His light transform us into people of love and compassion. It's about opening our hearts to His presence and allowing Him to lead us toward a life filled with purpose and joy. God's message asks us to live differently. It's an invitation to love deeply, to seek truth, and to build unity in a world that often feels divided. Imagine what could happen if we all embraced this call, to see each other not as strangers, but as part of one global family, united by God's love. And here's the amazing thing. God is always present. His eternal love is constantly guiding us, offering peace when we feel restless and hope when we feel lost. He doesn't just ask us to embrace His message. He gives us the strength and grace to live it out every day. So today, I want to encourage you. Embrace God's message of peace and hope with your whole heart. Let His presence fill you with joy, and His light guide you toward unity and love. When you do, you'll find the kind of peace and hope that can change not only your life, but the lives of those around you. God's love is here, waiting for you. Embrace it, live it, and let it transform your world.